streets become free. The streets become pure. It becomes devoid of human beings. Clear? Then, night resonance recedes. The sounds of the night also disappeared. A night walker's song. Night walkers here refers to prostitutes. Are prostitutes who are roaming about through the streets at night. After midnight, they also will go back to their houses. Their business is over. After great cathedral gong, at midnight in the great cathedral, here you will see reference to the Cathedral of St. Sophia. In St. Sophia's Cathedral, at midnight a bell will be rung. And that is the indication that the activities of the day should come to a stop. And so at midnight, the great bell from St. Sophia's Cathedral, the great bell rings. That is the indication that all the human beings should go to bed. No activities after midnight. And hearing this midnight bell, even the prostitutes will return to their houses, leaving the streets pure. And a starlit or a moonlit doom refers to the dome of the cathedral. The dome of the cathedral. Which cathedral? St. Sophia's Cathedral. And then here, then suddenly the poet refers to the dome of the church or the cathedral. Here he makes a contrast between the body and the soul, the flesh and the soul. And so the church, the serenity of the church is a contrast to the busy activities of the people. All that man is, all mere complexities. In this poem, if somebody asks you, what is the key word? What is the key word that is used in the poem throughout? Complexity. What is the indication? Man is a complex being. The fury and the mire of human veins. It refers, see, complexities, what does complexities refer? All the complexities of human nature, all the conflicting attitudes. Man is a complex being. Within us there is always a conflict between good and evil. There is great tension within human mind every minute, every second. The clash is between good and evil. The fury and the mire of human veins refers to the feelings and passions of the human mind. And so here this is the first stanza of the poem Byzantium. What is there in the first stanza? The city of Byzantium is presented before us. And you are getting the picture of the city at midnight. And the poet says that at midnight the activities of the day will come to an end. Even the prostitutes who are roaming about through the streets of Byzantium, they will go back to their houses. When after the midnight bell, from where does the midnight bell comes? In the church, in the cathedral, from the cathedral of St. Sophia, there will be the midnight bell. And why the bell is rung at midnight in St. Sophia's Cathedral? It is a signal to the people to go to bed. All their activities should end at midnight. And so, after midnight, there should be a sort of purity and serenity, even in the streets of the city. All the commotions have ended, all the struggles, noises, everything will subside, and the street at midnight will become empty. And then suddenly AIDS points out to the dome of St. Sophia Cathedral. What does it indicate? That is the contrast between the flesh and the soul. God and human beings. Or the dome of St. Sophia's Cathedral indicates spirituality. And then he says that man is a complex being. Man is full of conflicting emotions and feelings. And then coming to stanza 2. In stanza 2, the poet, the speaker of the poem, he is walking through the street. What is the advantage at this time? Time is after midnight. In stanza 1, it is already said that time is after midnight. That means streets are silent. Now, the poet, the speaker, is walking through the silent street. Then he saw before him something like a shade. It has the shape of a human being. But this observer understood that it is not a real human being, but it is a spirit. But this spirit had achieved somewhat perfection. And the poet uses many images. He says, you have seen the bobbin case, isn't it? And so, you can remove all the thread from the bobbin case. Similarly, say from this soul, all the negatives are erased out. That is the body. The body is removed, leaving the soul pure and chaste. What is the indication? The observer who watches the spirit walking in front of him understood that this spirit has undergone many levels of reincarnation and purifying process. As a result, it has become pure and chaste. And then the poet says that, is this death in life? Is this a living creature? Or life in death? Even after the person is dead, it is having life, it is walking. And so the second stanza, the observer, the initiated observer is watching, or he is walking through the silent street, the empty street of Byzantium. And then he saw somebody walking in front of him. He understood that that somebody doesn't have a body. It appears like a shade. This shade is walking before him. Suddenly he understood that it is a spirit which has undergone different levels of reincarnation and other purification process, and now it has become a clean soul. And so the clean soul will get united with the soul of God. And so the observer understood that it is a purified soul. Even though you say that the soul doesn't have a life, actually there is life in this dead soul. That is true life. Now we will see the poem. Before me floats an image, man or shade. Shade more than a man, more image than a shade. For heads bobbin bound in mummy cloth. Mummy cloth here refers to the cloth. First of all, mummy cloth. Mummy is a dead body. And the mummy cloth is the cloth that winds round the dead body. That cloth is thrown away. For heads bobbin bound in mummy cloth may unwind the winding path. A mouth that has no moisture and no breath. Breathless mouths may summon. I hail the superhuman. I call it death in life and life in death. And so, is the second stanza clear? That is, from the carrying down the meaning from the first stanza, the streets of Byzantium. After midnight, it is empty, silent. After the great cathedral bell, it is silent. And now, our initiated observer is walking through the silent, empty street. Suddenly, he saw a shade moving before his eyes. That shade doesn't have a body, a solid body. And suddenly, the observer understood that it is a purified soul walking through the streets of Byzantium. And then he says that, I call you superhuman. Even though you are considered as a dead person, you have life in you. And so, what does the observer saw in the second stanza? A spirit, a purified spirit, walking in front of him. And then coming to the third stanza, miracle, bird or golden handiwork. More miracle than bird or handiwork planted on the starlit golden bough branch of the tree. And so now we are coming from the street, you walk into the real city. Now you have the picture of the golden city of Byzantium. And the observer says that, the golden city of Byzantium is perfect. Everything is made of gold. The birds, the trees, the branches of the tree, everything is made of gold in the golden city of Byzantium. Originally, Byzantium was an ordinary city, and then you see the purified soul walking through the street of Byzantium. Then you enter the real city, the golden city of Byzantium. And here everything is made of gold. What is the speciality of gold? Gold is counted to be a changeless metal. Nothing will happen to gold. The gold will remain as such. And so, and again, the pure soul is also compared to the golden one. For example, here the golden bird, it is counted as 100% pure. And so, whatever is there in the golden city of Byzantium will become 100% pure like gold. Understand? This is the logic. Whatever that enters the golden city of Byzantium will become pure like gold. And so, even when a polluted soul, an impure soul enters the city of Byzantium, it comes out as a purified soul. How? It is explained in stanzas 3 and 4. That is, Byzantium floor is the purgatorial floor. There is fire all the 24 hours a day. Nobody knows who lights fire there, but there is fire all the time. But the speciality of this fire is that it is the purifying fire. It purifies your soul as gold is purified by fire. When you put a piece of gold in fire, all the impurities are removed and the gold will be shining with utmost brightness. Similarly, when you undergo the purgatorial dance in the dancing floor of purgatory, meaning to be simple, when you pay for, when you repent for, when you compensate for your sins, by being in the flames of purgatory. The purgatorial flames will not destroy you, damage you, but it will purify you. And you will become pure like the golden bird in the Byzantium city. Is the idea clear? And so, now you enter the golden city of Byzantium, to the innermost part. There, what all things do you see? Golden birds sitting on golden trees, golden branches, everything is golden there. Like the cocks of Hades crow. See, Hades refers to the kingdom of the dead. Cocks of the hell crow, or by the moon embittered, scorn aloud in glory of changeless metal, common bird or petal, and all complexities of mire or blood. Again, the key word comes there, complexity. Man is a complex being. He is always subject to conflicting emotions. See, this is very important. The golden bird in the golden city of Byzantium, it is angry with the moon embittered. Have you seen the line? See, moon is changing its shape and size every minute, isn't it? And so, moon is counted to be fickle, isn't it? And so, the golden bird is contemptuous of the moon. Understood? See, the golden bird is perfect. It is 100% pure. It is 100% changeless. And so, the golden bird in the Byzantium city is looking at the moon and he is angry with the moon. Why? According to the bird, the moon doesn't have a definite shape. Its size and shape keep on changing. Understood? And so, the bird is angry with whatever that is changing. Here comes another important point. The golden bird is indicative of the permanence of soul. Isn't it? See, our human life is transient, but the soul is permanent. That meaning is mentioned here. See, golden bird is symbolic. Attitude of the golden bird also is very important. A golden bird, on one level, it means the permanence of art over human nature. A simple example I will give you. See, an artist makes a work of art, and the work of art will remain for centuries, but the artist will die after a couple of years, isn't it? A painter lives only for a short period, but his paintings will remain there for centuries intact. That is the difference between art and human nature. We human beings have a superior feeling. We have a great feeling that we are superior to everything else. But remember, our life in this earth is transient, short-lived. We don't know how long we will be here. We will live here only for a short period and then we will quit this earth forever. And so, who is superior, artist or the art? Art is superior to the artist. And so, permanence of art is indicated by the golden bird. In one level, what does the golden bird indicate? Permanence of art over human nature. Understood? And the second point is that the golden bird refers to the permanence of soul. That is all the fleeting things of life. Everything will disappear. The body, it is subject to death and decay. Whatever we got from this earth, it will return to the earth at the time of our death. Our body is like a dress. We will throw it out, and the soul alone will start its upward journey.